Hi everyone, welcome back to Scented Moments channel. I'm Jolima, and in this video I want to talk about 3 of the most recent fragrance discoveries and, on the other hand, 3 of the most major disappointments. So without further ado, let's talk about first the most recent amazing discoveries. I have here 2 designers and 1 niche fragrance. One of the designers is actually a bit hard to find, that's the only downside, but if you can find it, please just buy it. Now, first I want to talk about a fragrance from the house of Bvlgari, and what a stunning scent this is. It is Bvlgari Au Thé Noir. This one right here. Beautiful looking bottle. This is a 150 ml, and the concentration of this fragrance is eau de cologne, but this doesn't perform as an eau de cologne. Actually, there are eau de parfum fragrances that don't last nor perform as this one does, at least on my skin, of course. This fragrance, wow, it's so good. This is all about rose, oud, and black tea. Wow. Of course, the oud in here is the it's a more westernized oud, a more appealing oud, not your daring animalic resinous oud, no. But still, it's there. It has this dark woodsy facet with the rose. The rose in here is amazing. And the black tea actually, it's the most prominent note, and it feels realistic actually, and that's why I love this one. You have more notes going on, but these 3 are the most prominent, and I think that's why this performs really good. This projects, this lasts the entire day. I was very surprised, pleasantly surprised with the performance of this fragrance, with the blend, with the uniqueness. This was released in 2015, and I highly advise you to check this fragrance out. This is strictly unisex. Either man and woman can wear this one. This is very seductive, very mysterious, dark, and it has also meditative feel because of the black tea. But in the end, for me, it's very, very sensual. Absolutely love this one. Everything is blended to perfection. High quality ingredients in here, at least for my nose, it comes across as high quality, this fragrance overall, and I highly advise you to check this fragrance out. Beautiful bottle presentation again. I think you had like an intense version, which I think now it's discontinued and very hard to get. Now this is the one that it's more readily available, and you don't need a more intense, at least on my experience, based on my experience, you don't need a more intense version. This is already intense. What a fantastic discovery, and the spray actually is really good. The overall bottle presentation is amazing. From the house of Bvlgari Au Thé Noir is a fragrance that you need to check out. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is from the house of Aramis, and it is Tobacco Reserve. This fragrance is outstanding, and this is my first fragrance from this house, and this was released in 2018. But I think it didn't do well, and even when it was first released, it was not readily available. Although it got some hype back then, but now, well, because maybe it's discontinued, I don't know, don't quote me on that, but because it's definitely harder to find, that's why people are not talking about this one. And I blind bought this because I love tobacco fragrances, and this is the best tobacco fragrance that I tried in recent times. This has tobacco leaf, this has tonka bean, and this still maintains like the classic old school nuance of the original Aramis. You have here still the clary sage, the oak moss, the lavender, that creates that maintains the barbershop fougere nuances of the original, and adding the tonka bean, the sweet, not overly sweet tonka bean with an overdose of tobacco leaf. Stunning scent. I mean, just the color of the liquid gives you a hint of how good this is and how intense this is. This is an eau de parfum, and this lasts the entire day and also projects a lot. This is more masculine, at least leans more into the masculine side of things, but if you love tobacco fragrances, I think overall this is a fragrance that you definitely need to check out. It's very intense and it's so good. Like, it comes across as a high quality scent, and it's so sad to see a designer house releasing a fragrance so good as this one, and well, it doesn't do well, at least in terms of sales maybe, which is unfortunate because this is really a high quality fragrance. Maybe because of the bottle, this still maintains a classic old school bottle and maybe heavy bottle presentation, and maybe that turned off some people, but really the scent is like the modern version of Aramis pour homme. I think it's Aramis, I think that's the name, but it's the original Aramis. So this is the modern version of that fragrance, and the ingredients in here, at least on my nose, they are so smooth. The blend is so smooth. It's not scratchy. Doesn't feel synthetic. And when I say synthetic, it's really like scratchy and just headache inducing. Not at all. Everything is blended to perfection, at least on my opinion, of course. Tobacco Reserve by Aramis is perfect for fall and winter time. It is a gentleman fragrance done to perfection. And the last but definitely not least fragrance that really surprised me in the best way possible, it's from House of PENHALIGON'S, and I already have, well, with this one it's 3, and I want to purchase Alfetti. Absolutely love Alfetti. But this one is equally amazing. It's from the Trade Routes collection, and it is Cairo. This one right here. Cairo is so good, so addictive. Oh wow, rose and saffron right away. It has this jammy rose. Actually, the rose used in here, it's similar to the rose that it's used in Radical Rose from Matière Première, which I absolutely love, and I have yet to add a full bottle. I just have the 6 ml bottle size. But the rose used in here, it's quite similar, but this one, it's much more complex, has much more layers. Wow, it's very addicting. So you have saffron also, an overdose of saffron, and then you have labdanum, incense, vanilla, tonka bean, lots of patchouli. I mean, this fragrance is very complex, but it's definitely one of the best oriental fragrances that I tried this year, definitely. Cairo, it's highly underrated, and performance again amazing, no complaints whatsoever, perfect for the colder weather, eau de parfum concentration, and you can find amazing deals in online discounters, at Parfumo, in souk section. So I mean, if you love this type of scents, I think this is a fragrance that you definitely need to check out. Again, very seductive, very addictive. It's sweet, not overly sweet. It's floral with a rose. It's very spicy, and it's magical. It's simply magical, and it's a perfect oriental scent for me. Absolutely love it, and it's quite unique. I love the rose used in here, but this one came first, then Radical Rose, so also there's that. But it still feels unique. The blend overall, it's quite unique. I never smelled anything like this before. So again, highly advise you to check this fragrance out in terms of uniqueness, in terms of the blend, in terms of the performance. So Everything is amazing in this fragrance. It's from House of PENHALIGON'S, Cairo, from the Trade Routes collection. And now let's talk about the disappointments. And the first fragrance that I have here, actually, this might be a surprise for some of you because of the brand. It's from House of Frederic Malle. And you all know how much I love this, but, well, there are some that you will not appreciate that much, even from Profumo Broma, which is one of my all-time favorite fragrance houses. I mean, I don't love all of the fragrances, which is normal. And this one is Lise Mediterranée. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's Lise Mediterranée. Actually, I was on the edge to blind buy this one. But it's definitely not for me, at least for now. This has an overbearing, for me, white floral nuance that I really can't handle. So this has orange blossom, this has musk, and this also has like another white floral, which I don't know if it's lily or lilac, lily of the valley, I don't know. I mean, there is something in here. This is just overly powdery, way too powdery for me, way too floral and way too harsh. The white floral nuances in here are too intense, to the point that it's headache inducing for me. And then you have the aquatic nuances, which I love aquatics, I love aquatic fragrances, but here doesn't help. I think I was expecting that this would be a more smooth fragrance, like a more watery, white floral, more smooth, salty, and with an overall feeling more sensual. Like this would feel like a second skin, like you are leaving the beach, that type of smell. But no, the florals in here are just way too much for me. I mean, I can see the quality of the ingredients definitely, but just don't work on my skin. Unfortunately, because I really had high expectations with this fragrance, but didn't work on my skin. Maybe one day I will appreciate this more than I do now. And the performance actually is quite good. This really lasts a long time, which, well, unfortunately in this specific case it's not good, because even when I was trying to wash it off, it was still there. So well, if you like this fragrance, that's a plus, that's a bonus for you, definitely. And if you like this type of scent, I think you will definitely appreciate that. But Lise Mediterranée from Frederic Malle, at least for now, it's a no. And the next fragrance that I have here, it's a sample, and actually I already talked about these fragrances because I already uploaded a couple of samples, testing samples, first impressions of these samples. So feel free to check those videos out. I already talked about these Mediterranée in one of them, and I already talked about this one that I will talk about now on my latest, which was like a month ago or so. It's from House of Creed, and it's their latest release. It's Viking Cologne. I hope you can see it clearly, but it's Viking Cologne, and it's just bad. It's literally one of the worst fragrances that I ever experienced. This is just bad. This really smells like bathroom cleaner. Actually, I had one that smelled similar like this. I don't recall the brand, but it's just that similar. Yeah, I immediately think of bathroom cleaner. Immediately. I mean, this is so harsh and so damn synthetic. You have 10 euros fragrances that smell much better than this one. So, considering the price tag of Viking Cologne, I mean, it's simply outrageous, the quality or the lack of quality of this scent. Viking the original is amazing. I love it. Although it's a love or hate, but I think, or I feel that it doesn't, the original Viking doesn't have it true recognition that it deserves because of, well, Aventus, of course. But I think Viking is amazing. I don't have it in my collection yet, but I really expect to add someday because it's really worth having. It's a fantastic fougere, modern fougere with aquatic nuances. Amazing. It's amazing scent. This one, on the other hand, it's trash. I'm sorry if well, sorry, not sorry, because this is just my opinion, of course, but if you love this scent, I mean, feel free to appreciate this one, and good for you. And I'm sure that I love fragrances that you hate, so I mean, it's part of this hobby. I mean, you will not love all fragrances equally, so it's part of it, but this one is just bad. You have citruses like lemon and orange. You have also pink pepper, lavender, but this one feels very different from the original Viking cologne. From the original Viking. Viking cologne feels very different, and the quality, it's much worse. So I just advise you to not even try this. You are not missing anything in here. And if you want a citrus fragrance, I mean, you have so much better alternatives out there. I mean, starting from the house of Aramis, from the orange concentré, concentré vert, I think it's the name. I don't know, you have mandarine ambré, you have pamplemousse rose, and then you have from Guerlain, from the Aqua Liguria, lots of alternatives there, and then you have Atelier Cologne. I mean, the list goes on and on. So if you are searching for a citrus fragrance, these brands will give you a much better high quality fragrances, and more affordable also. So Creed Viking Cologne, one of the worst fragrances released in this century, definitely. And last, and this one is unfortunate because I really like this brand. I love vetiver. This one doesn't work on me. It's from House of Diptyque, and it is Vetyverio. And this is the Eau de Parfum concentration. Love Diptyque. I have 5 fragrances from this brand. I love vetiver. This one, it's a no. And it's a no because it's so soft and just feels incomplete. It's fresh, it's clean, it's citrusy. You have the grapefruit in the opening, and then you have the vetiver, which gives a green nuance, but it's very tamed, it's very soft. It doesn't change, it feels very linear, and I'm missing the rootiness, I'm missing the grassiness, the earthiness of vetiver. Here feels incomplete. I think it's the best word to describe this fragrance. I love my vetivers more intense and more complex, with more nuances. I love Sultan vetiver, for example, or Guerlain vetiver. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then when comparing those with this one feels very meh. Unfortunately, because Diptyque has amazing fragrances. This one is not one of them, at least not for me, of course. Still, I can see the quality in here, just doesn't work on my skin. It's Diptyque Vetyverio Eau de Parfum. And guys, but I will tell you this, if you are searching for versatile, easy to wear and easy to like vetiver, if you want to start to dive into vetiver fragrances, I think this is still a solid alternative. A fragrance that I think it's still worth checking out if you want to appreciate, or if you want to start to appreciate vetiver fragrances. I think it's a nice alternative for that. Now, if you're already a fan of vetiver, I think there are much better alternatives out there. But still, Diptyque is still an amazing house. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what were your recent amazing fragrance discoveries and your recent fragrance disappointments. Tell me in the comments down below, guys, and see you in the next video. Take care. Ciao.